We sat down today with Russell McLaren, a lifter from Western Province, who spoke to us about his 3-year journey in powerlifting and how he dealt with the news early last year of being diagnosed with osteoarthritis and his decision after having met with a specialist to continue and, more importantly, go all in on his powerlifting career. We spoke about his preparation and his journey to SA's 2024 and what Western Province is planning to bring to the championships. Welcome to the special edition of Coffee and Conversations with Champions, the Powerlifting Edition, Road to SA's 2024. Enjoy. Russell, give us a little bit of background. Firstly, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Then give us a little bit of background as to sort of who you are and your journey in powerlifting. I believe is quite inspirational.
Yeah, thanks, Nicholas. Yes, in my professional life, I practice as an accounting and tax practitioner. So I have my own practice where I assist clients with all matters of accounting and taxation.
Right.
Very, very briefly, we're not here to talk about that much, but that's what I am. My working hours, and then. Um, I've been sort of involved in lifting slash powerlifting probably for about a good, I'm just trying to think, I'll get my dates right, probably
Mm,
a little bit over 3 years.
right.
Um, Basically, I got involved in it simply because, rather by accident. It was basically I was looking for this might find quite strange, but I was looking for a sport that didn't involve too many dynamic movements
Mm-hmm.
because I was getting too slow to do those types of sports.
Right. Okay.
Um, and something the way I could just, it was easy to manage. In other words, it was flexible and easy to manage.
Right.
And I pretty much saw that I actually had been introduced to or knew about powerlifting many, many years ago. And I always enjoyed sort of the gym work, getting strong. And I literally actually just decided to give it a go and pursue it and that was about just over 3 years ago.
Right. You've always been active in sport?
Yes, yes, I have been. I played a little bit of mainly my main sport besides powerlifting up until
Mm,
recently was actually squash,
right.
which is like I said. Remember when I said I wanted to get away from dynamic movements?
Well, listen, the most brutal, dangerous game in the world. People don't understand how,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
wanted to get away. I
yeah.
people say, well, I mean, you exchange squash for powerlifting. I mean, that's
Mm,
not much of a swap. I say it's a big swap.
yeah, no, it's a massive swap. Absolutely.
Um, it's a, it's actually people say it's not well. 3 years in, I can still say it's less straining on the body.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why, I mean, funny you talk about it because I was involved in martial arts for a large portion of my life. And, every single day where it's painful to get out of bed. And my last real commitment with martial arts was I was helping our instructor demo a technique, scissor throw, and I tore my transverse lateral because my ankle got caught in the mat. And like I was realized, hey, I can't work, can't run the gym, and maybe it's time to stop and commit fully to powerlifting, which I did. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful sport for longevity and quality of life.
No,
So
it is. It is. It's easy. You've just got to manage it well. That's
yeah,
all. And then it's as long as you're managing it, it's you can go at your own pace and you can progress and you just got to be patient and that's about it.
absolutely. So what has it been like over the last 3 years? Talk us through your journey, sort of starting out, getting into competition, and moving sort of along that track.
Um, like I said, that was about 3 years ago. And yes, it's a tough. Powerlifting is a strange one. I actually started off very well, and got to quite a good level relatively quickly,
Hmm.
um, and then hit a lot of struggles with regarding, I don't know, maybe a bit of overtraining and lack of knowledge as to how to. My newbie gains were great, you know.
Mm. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Newbie
Oh,
gains were great.
to
First,
always be a newbie.
yeah, first 9 months,
Mm.
that was the best. And I went through a lot of ups and downs. Competed in sort of unofficial meets.
Mm.
Always enjoyed it. Didn't get after about the first year or so. Didn't for the next year and a half or so. Didn't get the results that I wanted to, but I still carried on
Mm.
training. Um,
Right.
the thing is with powerlifting is that I've noticed over the short time that I've been into it, it's the guys that can stay in it the longest usually come out on top.
Absolutely.
So you got to it's a patient game, and you got to stick to it. Otherwise, and it gets to a lot of other lifters. The 3-4 years, and they've had enough.
That's
Uh,
it. So
2 to 4 years, and they've had enough.
yeah,
And it's not even injuries. It's just they can't. They just get despondent, or they move on, or for whatever reasons. And then last year, beginning of last, well, end of 2022, I actually posted quite a good total in a local club meet,
hmm,
and I decided to affiliate with SAPF for 2023. Um, I picked up what I thought at the time was a hip flexor injury.
hmm,
Shortly after that first initial club meet, I sort of got through it. Took a couple of anti-inflammatories and worked around it. I did Western Cape provincials beginning of February that year. I got sick. I was a bit ill before that, but some gastro type
hmm,
virus or something like that. So I didn't put in a good performance there. But I still did the meet. And I think it was about a month or so after, no, a bit longer, but
hmm,
March last year, towards the end of March last year, um, I suddenly woke up in the morning with no sort of for no reason with hip pain, for no reason whatsoever with hip pain. And I was wondering to myself, look, I haven't injured myself doing anything. This is not an acute injury.
right.
So I can't actually figure out what's actually going on here. And I then sort of, I knew there was some sort of inflammation there. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to maybe get some prescription anti-inflammatory. So I actually went to my GP, and went to the consultant, went and had the consultation with them, and since she actually sent me for X-rays right there and then, and she said, yeah, and I said, what you doing with X-rays? Just give me the anti-inflammatories, and I'll be on my way, man. No problem.
Yeah,
So I go and get the.
like
I
a
said,
power
oh,
lifter.
geez,
Yeah,
this is the doctor trying to be all like thorough and everything.
yeah,
Oh, please, man.
hundred
So
percent.
I went off to the X-rays just next door to the practice. Came, and they were basically had them. She sat me down and she explained to me. Took the X-rays of my hips and that sort of thing. And she proceeded to tell me I had early onset osteoarthritis.
Right.
Now, osteoarthritis is the um, sort of a gradual breakdown of the cartilage inside your joints. So it's not the joint itself; it's actually the cartilage inside. You see, that's your hip and
Mm-hmm.
hip socket. It's the cartilage between the two. If
Right.
you take your knee or your hip, or that's that cartilage. She told
So
me that's what's
basically,
causing
the
the
stuff that
inflammation.
enables the joint to move. and to
Yeah,
move
yeah,
pain
it
free.
enables the joint. Yeah, it like lubricates so that
Yeah,
what happens is when there's no cartilage, it causes, or then when there's damaged cartilage, it causes inflammation, which that's what causes the pain, which then you
yeah.
can't actually. That's why people suffer. That's where the arthritis pain comes
Hmm.
from the
Right.
inflammation. So I said to her, okay, well, what does this mean? The, my GP proceeded to tell me, well, look, I mean, what do I do? What do I don't do? And they said, she said, well, don't do anything too stressful. So I said, okay, what does that mean?
Mm.
I lift heavy weights. And she says, no, you mustn't do that. No, you mustn't do that. Okay.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, what do you want me to do? And she says, no, why can't you do like something like swimming or cycling? And I laughed at her and I said, I'm not doing swimming or cycling. I said, there's
Okay.
no ways I'm taking, I said to her, no, there's no ways I'm taking up cycling, you know.
Yeah. Nothing
Uh,
against swimming or cycling, but
no, nothing against it.
it's not in
I'm
the
not taking it up.
powerlifter's mindset. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm not taking
different
it up.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so I decided to. I was actually pretty depressed that day,
Right.
and for a couple of weeks after it, I took the anti-inflammatories. I was feeling pretty fine. I didn't have the pain or any sort of movement in any sort of movement restrictions or anything like that. After about a week or two, I actually chatted to a good friend of mine who's had many um, orthopedic surgeries, put it that way,
Right.
shoulders and knees and what have you. And he gave me the number of his orthopedic surgeon. He said, well, listen here. He said, listen, just go and actually speak to a surgeon who deals with this stuff every single day, that deals with an actual joint. They
Mm.
specialize in it and they will actually give you a clearer picture. They've got more data. It's what they do every day. So he
Right.
gave me the number of his orthopedic surgeon, who I then made an appointment with. By then already, I didn't have any symptoms. The anti-inflammatories had worked out all the sort of inflammation and pain.
Hmm.
I didn't have any mobility issues or anything like that. And I spoke to him. I explained everything. He had a look at my X-rays. He examined me, and he actually gave me some pretty good advice. Very sort of practical advice. He said, "Listen, I can't. The idea here is that cartilage will break down. There is onset arthritis here. There is
Hmm.
the early onset of osteoarthritis here. But there is no way I can tell you how fast or how slow this is going to break down. It could
Right.
stay at this level for the next 10 years. It could break down in 2 years." He said, there's just no way. So
Mm.
he said to me that, listen, the best thing to do for you as a person, all right, is for you to carry on doing and living completely as normal as you were doing. So if you were doing powerlifting, you carry on with it until you can't
Right.
anymore, or until we'll. Obviously, there's a lot of interventions you can do before full surgery, full hip
Yes.
replacement surgery. There's other interventions you can do, but like you said, just carry on and keep lifting, and whatever happens after that, we'll keep managing. And that was almost a year ago. I haven't had any issues since, thank goodness for that. So I've
Right.
been able to train consistently for a year without any sort of um, uh, interventions, either from any sort of treatment. So I haven't even taken an anti-inflammatory for. I haven't had a flare up at all in
Okay.
my hips at all. So, but at the same time, though, I'm very much aware that I've got to keep lifting because I don't know when it's going to be able to. It's going to come to an end.
Yes.
So, so
You
that's
don't
kind of like
waste
the
days.
motivation. That's the
Mm.
motivation for me to actually. It's a paradox,
Mm.
keep lifting until you can't because you can't afford to. You don't know how much longer you've got, so you've got to keep going to
Yes.
get the most out of it. So that's kind of the story as the last year. So I've had a lot of up and downs the last year with regards to this, but at the same time, though, the last, I would say, from um, end of November to date, I've had my best training run yet. So
Right.
I'm very, very excited to get to SA's. Training could not have gone any better. Um, I'm really feeling positive about this meet, the SA Champs coming up. I'm looking to post some good numbers, some competitive totals, to be in the to be in the mix for possible world selection, all that sort of thing.
Right.
So that's the best you can. That's the best I can do. But I'm really happy with how my training has gone.
What was the decision? I mean, you've sort of answered it in terms of and the saying that you're not really into wasting time now because you don't know how long you're able to lift for. What was the decision in going for essays? It's like going now for essays so you can get to worlds and get it all done because a lot of people will take the diagnosis and go, well, I need to do whatever I can do to protect myself and give up on their quality of life. What was it that made you stick with powerlifting and then decide to go for South African champs?
Yes. Well, the thing is, exactly what that specialist told me is that I don't know how long I've got left. So I need to train.
Mm,
This could actually be the only opportunity I get to come to essays. It's,
right.
I don't know. These sort of things. There is they what people don't understand is that there is no real reason. Oh, sorry, not no reason. They don't actually know what causes osteoarthritis. They've
Hmm.
got a few sort of things that the medical professions say could cause it, but they don't actually know definitively, conclusively, what actually causes the breakdown of the cartilage.
Right.
They can't tell you. So my idea was, look, keep going because you just don't know when you're going to lose this opportunity. So it's an opportunity that I've got, and I decided to take full use of it. And
Right.
if training is gone, if training has gone well, I need to put it to good use. I need to um, really put in some good performances, just so that I don't know because I don't know when I'm going to have the opportunity to do that again. So it's kind of like you're living on borrowed time, so you're making the most of every day.
Right. But the reality is that we're all living on borrowed time. We just don't realize that we're living on borrowed time. So,
Yes.
it's almost it's a gift in a way that you understand that know I think it's great motivation when you say, not today, I'm tired, I don't want to train, and then you understand what you have to work towards.
No, for sure. Look, I mean, the thing is, you've got to just, and that's the thing. You just got to keep. I could have, I suppose, I could have listened to the original doctor's advice and gone all wrap myself up in cotton wool, but it probably wouldn't have made a difference as to how long I had left. So I may as well
Yes.
take that time that I've got left and put it to good use, and that's why I decided to give it a solid crack.
Mm.
I hired a coach the last 6 months, and yeah, it's been going really well.
So what division are you entering at essays?
My division would be sub 93s Masters 1.
Okay. Hey, that's where I started. Great division. Good bunch of guys. We were at SA Bench now, and so I'm now 105s, Master 2. And we were sitting in the warm up area. We were the last flight. We're always the last flight with the heavyweights and the super heavyweights. And we had a gentleman who was with us, Steve, who broke two SA records, but he's, sort of the 66 kilo category, and they allowed him to lift with us because his coach was refing the first two sessions. And he said, it's so lacquer being with the heavyweights because when you were the light categories, you're stuck with all the young guys, and there's too much testosterone in the room. With the older guys, especially the master and the heavier weights, it tends to be more like a tea party or like just guys ripping one another off, helping one another, having a good laugh, nothing too serious. So it's a wonderful, wonderful division to be in, and it's a great place to be in. So,
I've actually cut a weight division. I went from the 105s down to the 93s the last year.
okay.
So I've got,
Sure.
for a master to go down a weight division, that's quite it's not that common.
No, no, absolutely. What was the reason behind it?
It was kind of like an investment. I
Mm,
could be more competitive at
yes.
93, but it would take some time. The things like the leverages change; they feel different. it's a little bit more complicated than I thought. It's not
Hmm.
just a matter of losing the weight, because obviously you lose a lot of support and range of motion on the
Hmm.
bench. The squat feels very different as well.
You
Deadlift not
can
so
you
much.
can feel the bar.
Yeah. Well, it's also when you're in the descent, what happens
Yeah.
is when you've got that extra bit of like fat around you, it creates like that stability, you
Boing.
know.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's like
Absolutely.
it creates like a little bit more stability. So
Yep.
it feels different. It just takes a lot of adjustment. It takes
Right.
a while to actually adjust to a new weight class, specifically if you've gone down a weight class,
Mm.
to build up. But I built it up quite nicely in the last 3 or 4 months. I'm happy. I think I made the right decision in going down.
Fantastic. Who are you training with? And would you like to mention your coach and just chat about that?
Yeah, I've got my coach is little Bianchi from Off the Grid.
Right.
She's coaching me at the moment. She's been coaching me for the last 6 months. So yeah, it's been I had a where like I said, she coached me up to Western Provinces, but I think it was about 6 weeks before Western Province champs. My father passed away, so I wasn't able
Sure.
to. I had to go up to the family where there wasn't any gym facilities, so I
Hmm.
wasn't really prepped uh, for that comp either, you know. But since December, November, we've been working well together. It's really looking good coming into this SA champ. So I'm very happy at this stage.
Fantastic. What is your plan for Potchefstroom? You coming up for a couple of days? You're going to come up and lift and go back? Or are you giving yourself a chance to recover up sort of from the travel?
Sort of. Look, I haven't discussed it. I have traveling to compete is not. I haven't done it before, but
Mm.
and I haven't spoken to the coach about it. But my initial thought was to come up really early. If provisionally, I think the 93s are lifting first thing Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Provisionally, the poor sods at a club
That's
on Saturday morning. You know.
Yeah, no. Listen, lifting is the easy part. When you're doing the reffing, it's the tough part because you got to be there for the weigh-in as well. And the
Yeah.
first
Well.
one, and then you got to wait for 90 minutes for the last guy to pitch up who's trying to cut weight. So,
Well,
okay, cool. Yeah.
I'll come in. I won't need to weigh in right at the end.
Mm.
My plan is to get up there early on
Mm.
the Friday before.
Yep.
Obviously, pretty early. Just sit and relax the
Yes.
evening. So I actually want to be tired, like a little bit like tired on the Friday evening, so I can get some good sleep in.
Good
So I can
sleeping.
sleep well
Absolutely.
on the Friday. I go to bed early, wake up, do weigh in. That's kind of like the
Mm.
where I was thinking, but
Right.
I'm not. It might not be the best idea. I haven't thought of it, given it that much thought, but that's kind of like what I was
Mm.
thinking.
So I think, also just if I could say, the value of the Elgro Hotel. And firstly, I think traveling for comps is always a lot of fun. And if you can get a couple of days in before and after, it's great. We went down the day before SA Bench on the Friday with the team, and we stayed over at one of our athletes' homes in just up the coast. We're a beautiful location, and spent the day on the boat on the river, and it's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun being at the comp and watching the lifting, talking to the lifters as well. And I think just for you, first time, if you can stay at the Elgro Hotel, there's tremendous value in staying at the venue where you park your car once or however you're going to get there, and you walk. You can go back to your room if you want to rest. If you need to drop weight, you've got your own bath or shower, you've got your own loo. It's a wonderful thing to be staying at the venue. We
Mm,
usually go up for the full week because it is so much fun. We live stream the event. We're commentating this year as
oh,
well,
that's
which is
great.
going to be a
Oh,
lot of
that's
fun.
so. I think that's. I was actually going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
That's what I felt the live streams were missing was a bit of commentary. You know,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So yeah, 100%. So the challenge has been finding the guys to do the commentary. It turns out usually to be me, and there'll be one or two other guys. But it is something that we're working on growing as well, and that's we've been doing it for the last couple of years. We did live commentary at SA Bench last year, and the interaction was amazing because you end up with people who have never watched powerlifting posting questions in the comments, and you're able to answer them live on the stream for them. So that's we're going to have a lot of fun this year. It's going to be absolutely spectacular, and
No,
it's
I
going to be
really
a great
appreciate
comp.
that, Nick, because
Mm,
it would be great. Look, I think powerlifting is always going to be a niche sport rather than a mass sport. But as long as we can have a good product, um,
absolutely.
is what we must just concentrate on our product, and the numbers will we'll through that we'll promote it, and there'll be enough competitors in the future. You know.
You know, that's exactly the reason why we launched this media channel and the podcasts and the interviews and the live streams, is to create awareness of the sport and also give a platform for the athletes to just share their stories, like you talking about being diagnosed with osteoarthritis. You know, and that can be quite a major blow, and then making the decision that no, this is my sport, it's my baby, I'm doing what I want to do, and then making the commitment to going to nationals, to travel for that. It's a wonderful thing, and then you get to meet some amazing guys. And you know, for I've been in this game for a long time. I think powerlifting is the best sport in the world because the people that you're competing against, the guys that you're going to take the place on the national team away from, is the guy screaming for you the loudest. And his coach is screaming for you because they know if you get stronger, they have to get stronger. And we're all in this game to get stronger. We're all in this game to support one another. And the community and the network, the community in particular, has always been very, very special. And everyone's always willing to lend a hand and to help out. And I think that's what I love about the IPF. That's what I love about the SAPF. It's those relationships that are built around the world and around the country. So it's going to be a very special experience, SAS.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm
Mm,
going to come up early on the Friday.
yep.
So I'll probably be there maybe for the afternoon session,
Yeah.
the late afternoon session. So I'll come down and support whoever's lifting then on the Friday afternoon. So I'll come up really early,
Yeah.
um,
Are
and
you
then
driving or are you flying?
I'll be flying up.
Okay, better.
And so I'll be up. I'll be up there really early. I'll probably be in Poch to catch the last session of the day on the Friday. So I'll come down and support that,
Oh,
and then
fantastic.
possibly I haven't decided because I finished quite early
Mm.
on the Saturday. I haven't decided to stay over over on the Saturday evening or not.
Yeah, I think
So
if you can stay over and watch the heavyweights and the super, it's something special when those deadlifts are coming down and that whole hall is shaking and everybody's yelling and cheering, and it's an amazing experience to see, and then also to chat to the guys afterwards and just sort of share knowledge and experience and just life experience. It's a wonderful thing. The girls and the guys, the heavyweights are, it's an absolute blast to watch. It's something very, very cool. It's
mm,
very annoying to watch the lighter weights because when you've got a lightweight who's like 66 kilos or 47 kilos lifting more than you, it's a little bit frustrating. And you know,
yeah, look, but it would be look.
mm,
I was it would be quite something. I mean, already I think if the numbers kind of line up, I
mm,
think there's going to be probably about 200 to 220 lifters in total over the
yes,
weekend, if I'm not
that's it.
mistaken.
Yeah,
That's more or less there. But and I think the whole of the SAPF is less than 500 lifters. I think
correct. That's it. So we've
you
got
know,
nearly half of the affiliated lifters coming through to compete.
which is great,
So,
which
yeah,
is great. But
absolutely.
it would be nice to have get to 1,000 lifters in the country. That would be great.
So I think, you know, that's what we're working on. I think the long-term goal, if you look at New Zealand's model, how they've grown their numbers drastically, and they're just rocketing, and they're producing world champions in opens, and they're really, really doing well.
Their
So,
team's doing really well. I mean,
yeah,
they had two lifters at Sheffield. There was it two,
yeah,
yeah.
correct. Yeah, Tim and
I think the
yeah,
girl actually won the ladies section,
she did.
finished
Yeah,
out on top last year, I think. Can't
yeah.
remember again, but yeah.
So they're really doing well, and we have the potential to do that as well because they're a much smaller population group, and
Well, powerlifting is bound to also lose a lot of its best to the other sporting codes. That's the other thing, because of the carryover.
yes, so that
We,
yeah,
it's like I've just got to, the guys that are rugby players are all going to be potentially really good powerlifters, and vice versa. Guys that are
yeah,
guys that are also athletics, up to like say 400 meters and
yeah.
hurdles and
That's it.
javelin and those type of
Oh, your
athletes
discus, your
are
shot put, yeah,
shot put
absolutely.
and javelin and high jump, long jump, all those sorts of
Mm.
things. That those guys will be good at powerlifting. Put a barbell in them and give them some training. You'll see they are very good. You
So,
know.
strength is the mother skill. So, it's going to enhance any athletic endeavor, any
Mm.
athletic performance. But what happens is we lose a lot of guys to rugby because they may have to make the decision in terms of where do they want to go with their professional career. But we also see a lot of them come back. So, we've got a
Well,
good master one, master two group. Where the guys are sort of coming back. We're very strong in South Africa, I think, on our juniors and sub juniors, and our masters are doing pretty well. So it's
yeah, I can
growing that
see.
open
I can see
division.
the masters section I'm up against is pretty stacked, eh?
Yeah, you're in the toughest division. I think
Oh,
Master 193s, those are the guys who take it seriously. And
yeah.
not to say that the guys in 105s and 120 and 120 plus take it less seriously, but I think what they're valuing more is their journey from 93 to 105 to 120 and 120 plus, because it's still a sport. And, if you want that extra piece of whatever, you can have that. And that's the beautiful thing. And I suppose, that really speaks to the sport as well, because you can be any shape and there's a place for you in powerlifting.
Yeah, it's. I think overall, I'm very tall for a 93 kg lifter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, at 1.83 meters tall,
Sure.
I'm a tall 93.
Yes, absolutely. So that's a long way to pull the deadlift.
Yeah.
Okay, but listen, you just keep pulling. That's the thing. So,
Don't worry about it. Just
yeah,
get on with it.
just
Is what I
just get
say.
on with it. That's it. So let's say for you get what you want at SAS. You get the team selection. What's the plan then?
The plan as well is ultimately the plan is to keep going, keep improving, keep working on it, and the ultimate is for me to Masters Worlds next year, 2025, is down here in Cape Town, where I
Yes,
can hopefully make the team and lift in front of my friends and family. The
epic.
that would be epic for me. So that would mean a lot to me to be able to do that, and that is the ultimate goal. I could actually, if I was able to get to Worlds and lift at Worlds and have friends and
Mm,
family come and watch me live, I would be quite happy to say, okay, powerlifting, I'll take a step back for a while,
right.
because that's a good year and a half away, and
Which goes very quickly.
which goes very quickly.
Yeah.
But that would be right now. If I could say that's what my dream is in powerlifting,
Mm.
that is it. To lift at world champs in front of friends and family.
Mm. That'll be very, very cool. Provided, obviously, you let them know well in advance, because Cape Townians with time, and there's traffic, and what happens if they have to go to the other side of the mountain? They got to go. You got to take Kloof Road because Sea Point's a nightmare, and then it's just
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I often tell people from Joburg,
yeah,
they'll travel 50 k's to go visit their friend. Here in Cape
absolutely.
Town, we don't want to travel more than 15.
No,
So
you
I
don't want to
say
get on. If you've got to
to
get on a
them,
highway, it's over, Russell. It's over.
yeah, well, that's exactly what I say to the people,
Yeah.
the guys from Joburg. I always tell them, listen, you got proper highways. We don't have
Yeah.
proper highways here.
No.
You
You
can
know,
get
it,
you can get
yeah.
onto a highway and travel 50 kilometers, and it's actually not. We've got to hack our way through suburbs, endless
Yeah.
suburbs, and you know,
Solly's folly. So,
yeah,
so I grew up in Cape Town. I went to Camps Bay High, so I know it well. And it's always I have friends who are out in sort of Muizenberg or Constantia side, and they're like, "Yeah, well, just come around for coffee." Like, okay, cool. And they're quite amazed, that you're willing to drive that. Because for us, we're appreciating the view, right?
yeah,
So I think
correct.
just as a question, what would you say to someone who isn't involved in powerlifting why they should get involved?
Um, why would they get involved in it? I think I would look at the personality of the person, and I think it's somebody who's willing to knuckle down and go through a process. They're the ones that are suited to powerlifting. So I would probably sort of have a look at somebody's overall. I wouldn't look at their athletic ability
Mm,
much, but I would look at their sort of personality, whether they've got it to be able to just come in there and knock out the training week after week. That's what the
right.
sport actually takes. Those are the people. Forget about genetics for a while and your actual abilities and all that sort of thing. If somebody wants to get enjoyment out of the sport and wants to do it and get enjoyment out of it, because you
Mm,
can't do something you don't actually enjoy, right?
yeah.
Your personality to be able to just come to a gym, put in the training week after week, that's what it actually sort of takes to get the enjoyment out of it. If you like the idea of, oh, I can progress slowly, I just need to put in this training,
Yeah.
people that are, you know, people that can manage themselves and trust the process, those are the type of people who I would encourage to do powerlifting. Um, and, and
Fantastic.
and
Mm,
if you want to
yes.
learn how to be patient, take up powerlifting as well.
Absolutely, 100%. That's, and yeah, and the beautiful thing about the sport, we were talking earlier about martial arts. Your
Martial arts
opponent,
is proper.
yeah. Listen, there's an element of luck. Your opponent gets in a lucky jab, or you get in a lucky jab, or you twist in the wrong way and you dislocate something. With powerlifting, it's you versus the bar, and the bar never lies. I got my 125 bench up. I missed my 135 because it wasn't willing to leave my chest. I left the handbrake on, and it was only didn't go up because of me. It had
Mm.
nothing to do with luck, and that's the honesty of that is something that's very, very valuable.
Yeah, it's 99.9% you're doing. You could get a couple of technical referee
Mm,
calls against you, but other
yeah.
than that, it's all you.
No, no, absolutely. I think, and the thing with the refing, that's why you have three referees. And I think at this year's essays, if I'm not mistaken, we will be having a jury. I know we had
Goodness
one
me, you
last
guys
year.
are, guys are
So,
going all out, eh?
yeah, absolutely. This is, there's
And I've
been,
got to have a platform coach to approach the bench.
yep, that's 100%. Absolutely. Listen, and some of the coaches who aren't, the coach has to be accredited. They have to have
Correct.
done SAPF coaching. They have to be affiliated with IPF. They have to have done their WADA coaching, high performance qualification, which is about 16 flipping hours online. But it's fine. You learn a lot. I mean, it was absolutely invaluable to do. And the funny thing about WADA, it comes down to one simple thing. It's actually got nothing to do with the doping. I mean, that's what it's about, but it's about the athlete's well-being, and that's something you take away from it. So, yeah, coaches are, referees are human. The intent must always be to, if you are not sure, then you must give the lift to the athlete. Press that button in the athlete's favor. But they are human. But that's why there are three. And when you're sitting on an international platform as a referee, it can be very terrifying your first couple of minutes getting back into it and getting your eye back in.
But
So
across
it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nick, I mean, across the board,
Mm,
if I watch SA Champs online, if I
mm,
watch World Championships, or if I watch whatever sort of IPF, SAPF
mm.
competition that I've watched, the refereeing on the whole is very consistent.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's
so
the number one thing. It has to be consistent.
it's very,
Yeah.
very consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, look, obviously, there is an occasional one where you might raise an
Mm,
eyebrow or something,
yeah.
but I mean, in a whole flight, there's maybe one, maybe two lifts
Mm,
where it could be like
yeah.
that. Other than that, they get it right.
That's it. And the thing for the athlete and for coaches, coaches need to train their athletes not only to lift the weight, but to lift the weight in a way that it makes the referee's job as easy as possible. For squat, don't just get depth, get it well in. Train to get it well in. So you make where there can be no question.
Yeah.
That's what competitive powerlifting is about. It's making the referee's job as easy as possible. And really, SAPF has done so well. They've really pushed the referee workshops and the qualifications and the requirements. And the coaches and the athletes have stood up for it because it's not an easy thing, Russell, to, you're coaching all day and then now you have to go and ref a session and then come back to coaching. So we've got a really good group of people in SAPF and it's a lot of fun. So we
Look,
really,
I mean,
well,
I've also
mm,
put myself down with our local guys here in the Western Cape
mm,
to train as a club referee. So we'll see what happens
excellent.
there.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. Good. You got to get it done. You know, the funny thing is, as a coach, I never learned more than when I was working as a referee because you learn what to look for. And as an athlete, you never learn more what to do than when you're working as a referee. It's absolutely invaluable. So, Russell, anything from your side sort of that you'd like to end off on?
No, just I'm really happy. Things are looking up for SA Champs for me personally. I'm quite
Excellent.
excited
We
to
have to give we
of
have to
it.
give you one of these then.
I'm
Absolutely.
excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It looks like everybody's excited to get
Yep.
to essays. You guys
Yep.
that are doing the media stuff, it's you're going all out. I really appreciate that. It's going to be great to have some
Absolutely.
commentary.
Yeah.
It's also great if you learn as commentators. The guys come back every year. You can, they're regular lifters. You know them more. So
Yes.
you become. I think having commentary there, I think is a golden stroke by you guys. I
Yeah.
must commend you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
but I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to. I'm really just looking forward to essays and the experience. Obviously, I think also I'd like to end off and say
Yes.
the guys from the Western Cape are we've got a really good bunch of lifters coming up this year.
Yeah.
Not just your usual champs existing champs. We've got a couple of other guys that are really looking to make waves. So we've got
Fantastic.
some really great lifters coming from the Western Cape. We don't have a lot, but they're
Yeah.
good.
But Western Cape is really growing, and it's great to see. It's really great to see.
Now,
Looking
look,
at the.
the quality at our Western Province, Western Cape champs
Mm,
was quite something. We've
yeah.
got some guys that can really do damage at SA. So yeah,
Excellent. Good.
we're coming. We mean business, is what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
that's 100%. You're coming up like Johannesburgers, not Cape Townians. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to lift today, but brew the weather. I mean, like, look at that, man. And the guys are skiing on the lake. Can I come in tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah. So maybe that's what Worlds will be like in Cape Town. I could be like, yeah, fully, brew. I mean, yeah, it's gnarly out there, man. But no, 100%. Well, Russell, really, thank you for your time. It was great chatting. We're looking forward to seeing you at SAs and also chatting to you then as well. So,
Yeah,
that's something we're gonna
I'll
do a couple
definitely.
of interviews as well.
I'll come to
Yeah.
the media desk and say hi and what have you. And
Excellent. Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Otherwise, we're going to move cameras when you're lifting. I'm just kidding. You better come and say hello. But
all
really,
right.
thanks for your time, dude. I'm just going to end the recording and then I'll just say cheers to you. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Nick.